Alright, y'all, so I'm going to do a story time with y'all while I finish getting myself together to make my yoga content video. So, yeah, story time. Let me tell y'all. Now, this story right here is 100% true story. So, my husband and I was living in Denver, Colorado, and we had went to the sand dunes with my sister and my brother. And if you don't know what the sand dunes is like mountains of sand in Denver, Colorado that people go to and visit and slide down. It's like sledding, but it's like mountains of sand that people go and slide down, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So we had took that trip. It was 5 hours away from where we stayed at in Colorado. So we stayed out there and we had a really good time. So, and it was our second time going to the sand dunes, so it was fire. But so we went to the sand dunes, had some fun with my sister and my brother. We all slid down the sand and we was having a really good time. And so they ended up going back early, and Tori and I, they ended up going back because we drove our trailer out. We had a trailer, and we were staying out there overnight. And so they ended up going back early and going back to the trailer and calling it in. But we wanted to stay a little longer. So we ended up walking them back and walking them back to the trailer. And then we ended up going back to the car and going back up to the sand dunes because we wanted to stay in. The moon was so beautiful and bright, and we wanted to watch the moon come up. So we walked back to the car, and we dropped them off, and then we walked back to the car. And so when we were walking back to the sand dune, well, before we walked back to the sand dunes, my husband and I stopped at the car, and we got a few things, got our snacks, and my husband had asked me, like, mind you, he asked me, should I take the machete? Like, should I take the machete? Or should I bring the gun? Or I think he just asked, should I take the machete? And I'm like, no, we could. You don't need to take the machete. Don't take it. You'll be fine. And so we ended up walking back to the sand dunes and walking up to one of the hills, and we slid down a few times. We was looking at the moon. We was just enjoying the ambiance of nature. It was just beautiful out there. The stars were so bright, and yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. So I remember telling him, like, babe, we should probably start walking back because it's starting to get dark. And he was like, okay, that's fine, babe. Like, we can start walking back. Because I'm like, it's getting dark. We don't know what animals are out here. We don't want to run into any animals or anything like that. And he told me, like, even if we were to run into any animals, we'll be okay. We'll be fine. Because we have a divine connection to animals, and animals feel our energy. And I'm like, yeah, it's not that I didn't believe him or anything like that, but I'm like, yeah, we still have to be mindful because, animals nowadays, and as a collective and as a whole, as humans, we have our first mind and our first nature nowadays is to kill. Back in the day, we knew that we had a divine connection to nature and to animals. We were as one. We were one. So, we didn't look at each other as, we didn't look at animals as, we need to kill them and do this and do that. We knew back in the day that we had a divine connection to animals, and we still do. But nowadays, we've lost that. We've lost knowing our divine connection to nature and animals, and we kill and so on and so forth. And the animals know that, and so they are scared of us because they know that, we hunt, we kill, and whatever. So they do the same thing to protect themselves, to protect their families. So I'm like, yeah, babe, we still have to be mindful of that. So we still need to go, be cautious, be careful, because we're out in the sand dunes and there is no light pollution. We're not near a city or bright lights or anything like that. When it's dark, and the stars are bright and they're beautiful. But when it's dark, it's dark, like pitch black dark. And so I'm like, all right, babe, let's go ahead and start walking back. So we start walking back, and then we also hear people from afar howling in the night, because there are people in the sand dunes. The sand dunes is just huge. It's like mountains of sand. So there were people still there. They were out. They were partying. They were playing music, and we heard people just howling in the night. And so it would be a group of people from afar howling in the night over here to make contact with another group of people from afar howling like whoo, whoo, howling like wolves. So they were howling. We hear them howling. We're walking back. So as we're walking back to the car, we had some ways to go. We'll probably be like, I'll say 9 minutes away from the car. We're walking back. Tell me why 3 big ass wolves, y'all, big ass wolves, roll up on us. 3 in a pack. 1 in front, the leader in front. I mean, they were in a formation like no other. And when I tell you they were close as fuck up on us, like we're here, they're probably like on the opposite. They're like on the opposite side of this. So they ran up on. They rolled up on us like no other, y'all. Like I swear on everything, I literally, my heart fell up out my chest. I did like a So they rolled up on us. And I'm like, ah! And I had seen them first before my husband looked over and seen them. So I did like a little scream, like a ah! Like it was like a quick scream. It wasn't like a lingering scream, but it was like a ah! And my husband had put his hand out in front of me and put me behind him. And so we're sitting here eyeing the wolves down. My husband is in front of me, like no fear, just staring them down. It was no running. For one, you ain't out running no wolves. But it was no running, it was none of that. My husband stood him down, stared him down, looked at him like what's up? Like looked at him like, y'all, like just looked at him confidently and just stared him down with no fear, no nothing. And when I think about it and remember it, when I go back to that time, I'm just like, wow, like, anyway, stared him down. The first leader of the pack, the one that was in front, because the 2 wolves was behind the leader. And when I tell you they were so synchronized behind them in formation together, like, I mean, it was crazy. Right behind them, the first leader, he hissed. Like, he made like a hissing sound. And the 2 in the back turned around. I tell you, I kid you not, turned around at the same exact time, turned around, ran off, and then the leader followed behind them. Literally turned around at the same exact time. We were stood there for at least, it was like 9-10 seconds, stood there. I'm behind them, like my chest, my heart is out my fucking chest. Like literally, excuse my language, y'all. The first one hissed, the 2 turned around, left, and then the leader left behind them. So I'm like in total disbelief. Like we're like, and then we start walking like nothing happened. We just literally start walking like nothing happened. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? What just happened, bruh? What just happened, yo? Like my husband walking like nothing just happened. Like what just really happened? Like some wolves just really, 3 big ass wolves just ran up on us, turned around, and left. We stood there for 9-10 seconds, turned around and left. We walking like nothing just happened. And I'm like, babe, what just happened? Did that really just happen? Like seriously, did that really just happen? And it was like totally unbelievable, y'all. Totally unbelievable. And so we're walking back, and I'm like, never did that just happen. And like we were in total disbelief, like, wow, exactly what we said, exactly what we spoke of before we ran into the wolves, before we left, before we started leaving, exactly what we spoke of happened. Me bringing up how we could run into some animals, babe, we need to go. We could possibly run into some animals. And him telling me, babe, we have a divine connection to animals. You know what? This is my husband's saying. We have a divine connection to animals, so they gonna feel our energy. That's exactly what happened. Exactly what happened. So don't get me wrong. Ain't nothing with keeping, you know, a weapon on you for sure. You're gonna be in the wolves and doing stuff like that. But I say that to say that for one, the average person would have ran or tried to run at least. The average person would have ran, would have been screaming, and them wolves could have definitely mauled us. They could have mauled us down. People get killed by wolves all the time, and when I even see that, I'm like, wow, like we really have that encounter with the wolves, and exactly what he said happened. They left us alone. They turned around, and that was divine protection right there, like divine protection on a whole different level. And so it was unbelievable to me, and that was no coincidence at all whatsoever. The simple fact that we were speaking of it before it happened is crazy, and we literally spoke it up before it happened. So I'm like, that was no coincidence at all whatsoever. And that right there showed me that we have divine protection with us, universal forces with us, and that we do have a connection to nature. But we got to be mindful what we speak too, because we spoke it right up. And that is one thing that definitely reminds me that, you know, our words are powerful. Our words are very powerful, whether it be positive, whether it be negative. Our words are definitely very powerful. And what you speak out, oh shoot, I can't even put this necklace on. What you speak out into the universe will come back around on you full throttle. So watch what you're saying. Don't be walking around saying, I'm broke, and this and that. Or don't be walking around, you know, speaking ill will on your life, because it'll come back around. He's up. I had to get my baby because he started crying. Say, hey, man. So, yeah, I forgot where I was, but I say that to say, y'all, watch the words that you speak out into the universe, because what you put out is what you're going to get. Our words are like spells, and our words are very powerful. And I am reminding you of that. Baby, watch what you say, watch what you speak. You know, that situation for me was not a coincidence. It just reminded me of how powerful our words are, and how we are divinely guided and we're divinely protected. And I embody that, and I know that, and I live by that. And I will continue to honor that, the divine protection that we have, the universal forces and the ancestors that are with us each and every day. It's a beautiful thing to know and embody. And so, with your first mind, we didn't even need the machete. That's the crazy part. That was another thing. My husband had asked me, babe, should we bring the machete? I told him no. I'm like, no, we'd be fine. I told him no. And don't get me wrong, like I said, you know, nothing wrong with definitely having a weapon and protection, but we really didn't even need it at that time. When I tell you the wolves turned around, simultaneously turned around. When I tell you they could have mauled us on a whole different level, we definitely would not be here, like at all. That was not a coincidence how that happened. Everything he said was going to happen. They felt our energy. They felt his. Well, I was scared as a mother, so I'm not even gonna fake, but they felt his energy for sure. They felt my husband's energy, and he stood there with no fear. No fear. Like, that's why I love my husband down, baby. Like no other. But I say this to say, the point of the story is, watch what you speak out into the universe. Your words are spells. Speak positivity into your life, and understand how powerful you are, and understand that you create your reality. And also know that you know, you're divinely protected, you're divinely guided in all that you do. And know that, embody that, and live by that. Ain't that right, Zoe? Period. Alright, y'all. Thanks for watching.